Starting. We're live. All right. Shall we begin the show then?
Sure.
As soon as I turn down the volume because you are piercing my eardrums. Let's see. There we go. All right. Okay. Here we go. Ready? Yes, you ready?
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 263 for June 22nd. No, it's not. It's June 28th, 2018. I'm one of your hosts, Trevor Furlott.
I'm another one of your hosts, Kelly Lynn.
And Adriel is stuck behind a train or in front of a train or under a train or on a train.
I think he's throwing Mama from a train.
He's part of a train? I don't know. Anyway, he'll be along shortly.
They have long trains.
He'll click on one of the 16 links that I put in our Facebook chat to try and get this thing going. Anyway, here we are. Brian is on assignment this week, and let me just see here. I believe what he's doing is listed down here. Oh, he's on a streak at a bowling game and couldn't make the show. Not sure who came up with those, but I'll be happy to cross that one off the list.
That one's
never
lame.
Gets used again. Yep.
Well,
the next one ain't much better. So I don't even know where the crossout thing is. Well, all right, Kelly, why don't you regale us with what you did this week in guns?
Okay. Well, I was just going to go in and see what we had for Calgary Shooting Center, but okay. I didn't do much. We had at the Frontenac.
Even though you didn't do much, it is still brought to us by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearms retailer. And this week they have stuff and things on for sale, and the only way to find out exactly is to go to their website. Yeah.
Our website. They didn't
or
have
walk
much
in.
On this week.
Tell them Slamfire sent you.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this week was summer fun at my local range. So the range was shut down unless you're an IPSC shooter. And
summer fun is at your range.
Yeah.
Summer fun is a very popular level 3 IPSC match. A lot of people from even Nova Scotia travel out there for that.
Yep. It's all over Ontario. Come here. Usually says out within about half an hour of opening. So Yep. Anyway, so that's going on at Frontenac. So we didn't get to the range, but I did get to go to SFRC because, Saturday. That's what I do. So I talked to Ryan a little bit about the charity shoot. So they're going to be one of our sponsors as well. So that's awesome. I'm going to go pick up some stuff on Saturday for him. What else? This afternoon I went and got something in the mail. The postman came and rang the doorbell, but I wasn't here, so I went to the local post office and picked up a gun. It is going to be on our raffle table for the charity shoot as well. So that's from Select Shooting Supplies. It's awesome. We're going to have a Savage A22 Magnum that's going to be part of the prize table. So.
Very cool.
It is very cool. Doing a lot of haven't been shooting, but I've been doing a lot with the charity shoot, trying to coordinate everything with respect to our trips both out east and out west with Project Maple Seed. So I was able to set up some. So next week, watch for some Eventbrite links for out in Western Ontario or Western Canada as well. So that's what I was doing. So as I said, nothing really gun related, but everything to do with all the stuff, all the hobbies that I've been.
I'd say it's all gun related, but not necessarily you didn't go shooting, but everything you did is gun related.
Yeah, I didn't get to go shooting. And after we're done recording this tonight, I am going to be talking about the calendars with the 2019 calendars with the team that's coordinating that as well. So every evening I have a phone call about something. So anyways, what about you, Trevor?
Well, I had one of those phone calls myself last night until about 11 p.m. The first CCFR board meeting after the AGM. So it was a cool meeting. We appointed some, I got appointed as chair again, and they appointed the second in charge VP and reappointed all of our field officer coordinators and all those people, and talked about some other fun stuff. Other than that, another project that I'm involved on at the range that I didn't talk about last week was there's a small group of shooters at our club that would like to see an F-class range. Well, I don't know what they would like to see, an F-class range or F-class shooting, but now we have a 600-yard range. What we've done is we've contacted the Royal New Brunswick Rifle Association to look at the feasibility of constructing a facility that will accommodate sanctioned F-class matches. So I'm investigating what's involved in that, reaffiliating with the RNBRA, becoming individual members, installing wind flags, making sure the firing line is the correct size, shape, angle of slope, etc., etc. So they came up and they conducted an inspection, and there's very little needs to be done to get it to where it needs to be to hold a sanctioned match. So that's pretty encouraging. Whether or not the work will get done, I don't know. My role is to find out what needs to be done, because a lot of money was spent and some wasted, and we're no farther ahead. So before any more money was spent, I wanted to have somebody who, you know, the governing body come on to the range and have a look around, tell us exactly what we needed to do. So they did.
How far out are you shooting to?
600.
Okay. That's not bad.
So F-class can be shot at a couple of different distances. Like you can have a match that incorporates 300, 500, and 600. The way the slope of our range floor is made, we can never accommodate a shooting line at 500. So the good news is you can hold a sanctioned F-class match that is shot at one distance only, 600. So then that's fine. Then that's what we'll do. The way the scoring works is, and even for practice, there was guys that wanted to buy a camera system, and the gentleman from the Royal New Brunswick Rifle Association really advised against a camera system because it's just not that accurate or clear. There's an app basically with sensors that triangulates where the bullet struck on the target and sends that image back to your smart device, so you don't have to go down range to check your shots or anything like that. So we can buy one of those to put on one target for now, and guys can take turns using it for practice to get sighted in and stuff. So it's a bit of an expense, but if there's interest in the club, I don't want the club to spend thousands of dollars to give a couple of people a practice range. Yeah. If we're going to invest money, I want to see someone in the club step up and become the F-class coordinator and organize and host sanctioned matches. If we're going to spend money, I want us to make money. And if we're going to make money, I want us to hold sanctioned matches so that other people from around the province and maybe even Nova Scotia and Prince Island will come take part. So very little needs to be done. We need some new target stands. The target stands that are there, that's something else that was done wrong. The target stands were built. They weren't built to the right size. They were built 4x4. We need 6x6. The shooting mound was brought up and then brought down. That was $8,000. We'll never see again. And it was brought down too low. And there's no slope or angle on the front. Yeah, so
now you have to build it up.
Well, the guys that want F-class need to go there with shovels and wheelbarrows and pull dirt from the back of the mound to the front. That's
makes sense.
Yeah, there's no need to make any.
How many do you have that are shooting F-class right now?
Yeah, that's the thing. One maybe, and some other people that want to try it. But I mean, yeah. So it's for some members, it's a point of contention. There's a small minority, like 4 people maybe, that want to shoot F-class, and I'm not even sure if they're members of the RNBRA. There's only one that actively shoots F-class. Well, I don't even know how active he is anymore, but he certainly shot the sport for many, 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 many years. He's very well known in the sport. So he was involved in trying to help get this project off the ground. But
is there interest?
There's a lot of talk, but I don't see a lot of people with shovels and wheelbarrows. So, I mean, I know there's interest from myself and Muffin. Like, I don't just want to go out there and turn money into noise. I've got a target rifle and I'd love to try F-class.
Right.
So, you know, that's why I got involved, to see if the project will actually get completed and to stop wasting club money, find out what exactly needs to be done before we do it. So
So there's very little that needs to be done right now.
Right now, the flags have been purchased. The FClass, the people at the club that, the rifle coordinator the rifle coordinator doesn't coordinate any rifle shooting activities. He'll maybe show up on Monday night, which is rifle night. He'll see about getting targets ordered. The club supplies targets to its members, which is kind of unheard of, but it's not abused, so we still keep doing it. He builds the rifle stands, he maintains the range, but he doesn't organize any kind of shooting competition or anything like that. So we don't really have somebody spearheading this right now. The flag poles, some kind of system needs to be devised so that the poles can be laid down. Otherwise, they'll just be shot upright. We need a flag pole at every 100 meters. So the flags are bought, and we know what the shooting line needs to look like. There's a corner of one of our berms that needs to be, it's like the back of a pistol bay berm. So we need to kind of cut the corner off a little bit because it's interfering with the line of sight to the 600-yard backstop. And we need 4 target stands, and we need to buy one of those scoring systems. That's it.
Okay.
So just is somebody going to step up and do it now that we actually know? So,
right.
And then the club has to reaffiliate with the RNBRA, and I believe the cost is $1 per member. So, if your club has 200 members, it costs you $200 a year. If your club has 800 members, it's $800 a year. And so if the club writes a check for, $200, some of the members are going to ask, why are we paying $200 out of our club account so a couple of people can shoot F-class?
Because what you need to do is get your butt out there and shoot.
Yeah, you may not shoot trap, but your dues help pay for the trap section too.
Exactly.
Well, actually, no. Trap is self-sustaining.
Okay, don't.
Self-sustaining.
Bad example. Then don't bring that up to them.
Yeah. But like when you join a gym that has a pool, whether you use the pool or not, it's part of your dues. You know what I'm saying? So it's just part of the growth and development of the club.
Well, what are we talking about? Like $200, $1,000? Like, who cares? This isn't a lot of money.
Oh, dude, these people care. You have no idea how much they care. It's $100 a year to join the Rescuers Gun Club. You can't go golfing for a day for $100, and they're losing it all the time. Like $100, a lot of money. I shoot my rifle 3 times a year. So go to a gravel pit. I don't know. What do you want me to tell you? Stuff costs money, and if you don't have money, then don't do stuff.
Tell them to commit to Ontario, where it costs like $400 a year.
Well, I don't live in Ontario.
Well, you know what?
Well,
then be quiet.
Well, and Kelly, I said those words. I said those words, Kelly.
Consider yourself lucky.
I told that one guy who was commenting about our banking system. He said, "That's stupid." I said, "What? It's stupid? Yeah, it's effing stupid." You know what? That's how a child speaks. And so if that's the most you can contribute to this conversation, maybe you should just be quiet. I ain't having it. So anyway, so hopefully it goes forward and people step up and make it happen, but I'm not going to hold my breath. So the problem, competition, when you get involved in competition is the driving force behind growth and development in your range. Why do we have one of the best IPSC ranges in Canada? Because we got a bunch of IPSC shooters who shoot elsewhere. They're active in their sport. They join the association every year. They've spent the time, they spent the money, and they'd like to have a nice facility of their own to train at and to compete at. So the IPSC shooters have grown the IPSC program. How are you going to grow and develop an F-class program when there's no one in your club shooting F-class? The other side of that coin is build it and they will come. Hey guys, the club is now certified for F-class. Take out an RNBRA membership and come out and shoot the match. And if you like it, go shoot other clubs' matches.
Right.
So that's my hope. Anyway.
Right. Right. You have to grow it. You're not going to have like 500 members on the first that want to shoot on the first year, right?
Yeah, well, someone's got to grow it. And hopefully if the facility is there, people will take advantage of it. But there's no one really motivated to grow it. So I got my blood work back and my lead levels went way up. So according to the scale that this laboratory in London, Ontario uses, a 0 therapeutic range for parts per whatever in your blood is between 0 and 20. And when I had it tested back in the late fall, it was 94. So the doctor said, okay, you're over 3 times what you're supposed to be. Stop shooting, stop reloading for at least 3 months. Let's see if they come down, and then we'll test again. So I was supposed to go over the test, and I had to reschedule. I was supposed to go over the test, and I had to reschedule. And then March 17th, I shot an indoor match, which is not the best thing in the world to keep your lead levels down. A couple of weeks later was the 2-day indoor spring bang match at the AMA range in Dartmouth. And so I shot basically 2 indoor matches a couple of weeks apart, and then I went and had my lead tested again. So when it was 94, he told me to stop shooting and take a break. This time it was 174. So normal is between 0 and 20. And it jumped up to 174. And he's like, you know what? Don't even worry about it.
Really?
Don't even worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about it. Just keep doing whatever you're doing.
Really?
Is that just your doctor like throwing in the towel?
Yeah. What it is.
Well, you're not going to listen to me anyways. The lead's going to be affecting your brain function, so you just keep doing it. You're not going to listen to me.
Well, and I mean, I called a company at Test Water and to get my water tested. He's like, well, we don't test for lead, but we can send it away and have it tested for lead. I'm like, great. Call me back with a date. That was back in the fall, right? When I got my lead tested and it came back high. I still haven't heard back from them. So, because Christina's lead levels were higher than they were supposed to be too. So is she picking up that much cross-contamination from me? Can't be. I mean, it can't be. Like, I'm not smelting. I'm not casting in the basement. I'm not casting. I haven't cast since last year. My range clothes. I mean, there can't be that much cross contamination.
Industry Canada or Environment Canada was mentioning that in their in that anti-lead article that they had put out. They were talking about like, oh yeah, you come back from the range, you like bag up your clothes and like don't let anyone near them and wash them, and it's coming off used, and make sure you have a shower. And it's like, I think that's the extreme on it. I'm pretty sure it's probably fine as long as you don't like, I don't know, like eat off of your your like range shoes or your socks or something like that. Well, but like an indoor match, I could see raising your blood level or your lead level, because you're shooting inside. There's a lot of lead coming off primers and whatnot. So that's possible. But the clothes and that doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah. I mean, I got gloves next to my press. I'm supposed to wear them whenever I reload, but I hardly ever.
Well, you're not like it's not going to like seep through your skin. So I mean, if you get it on your hands, it's just a matter of like washing it off. Hands really
with
well,
cold water, before you eat or stick your fingers in your nose or your eyes.
Yeah.
So anyway, so whatever.
I would see the particulates and like breathing those in is like a good way of getting that stuff in your blood.
Yeah, vaporized lead is the fastest way to get lead poisoning. Mm-hmm. So, and then last weekend was the Hampton Rifle and Pistol Club's Southern New Brunswick 250 IPSC level 3 match.
How'd you do?
I won my division. I finished 3rd overall.
Congrats.
Yeah. So because it's a sanctioned level 3 match, if there's enough people in your division, you qualify for a presidential medal. You only get president's medals at level 3 matches. So whoop, whoop. This is my 2nd one. So that's pretty cool. Pretty excited about that. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. The match was awesome. They scaled it back from 18 stages to 14 stages. And at first I was like, oh, really? Come on, guys. The whole idea is it's like a marathon. It's an Ironman match. It's 18 stages in one day. We have it on the summer equinox because it's the longest day of the year. Well, let me tell you, by stage 12, I was done. I was over it. I didn't know if I had to dig deep for my last stage. Stage 14, yep. I was happy that we didn't have 4 more to go. It was a long day, man. Luckily, it wasn't hot. It was only like 30 degrees for like an hour, maybe. And then realistically, it was probably only 25 degrees. But anyway, so knocking it back to 14 stages, made it less intimidating to new shooters to try and get all that shooting in one day, made it easier on us old fat guys. And it also gave them more creativity with their stages. They were able to put together some really good, really well balanced stages, which meant that the match was really well balanced. So when you have a level 3 match, there's a ratio. You can't have all long stages. You can't have all short. You can't have all medium. is like a 3-2-1 ratio. So with 14 stages, it was just the right amount of long courses of fire, lots of short courses, and the match had some running and gunning where you were on the move, shooting targets up close. Then you had some stand and deliver, both close and far targets, and you had some accuracy. So you had it all. You had movement. You were tested on your reloads. You were tested on your loading, unloaded guns. Table starts, weak hand, strong hand, prone. Come on. I hate prone, especially since I zeroed the stage. But anyway, the match was balanced.
You can zero a stage there and still win.
So yeah, yeah, I did that. Thanks for pointing that out. Yes. I zeroed a stage and I still won by 6%, give or take. More like 5.5%. And you
were roasting on those other stages though. Your stuff on Instagram looked pretty good. Those are some pretty quick stages.
Did you see the stage where I backed into the wall?
Yeah, ran like sideways into it. Out.
Look at this bruise. Can you see that on the camera?
Oh yeah.
Very easily. Nailed it.
The wall.
Yeah.
That's what happens though, right? You get shooting and you lose that spatial awareness and you run into a wall.
Well, and the problem is I take up more space than I'm aware of. That's the challenge. I'm not as small as I think I am, and rounding corners when you're as round as I am is a bit of a challenge. So, and when the stages weren't built by a school teacher, you can't knock stuff over. That stuff is built to last. It's attached quite solidly. So, but the stage that I zeroed, Adriel, there's only 40 points on the stage, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, I got a penalty. There's -10. So that now I'm left with 30 possible points. Well, because I hit the no shoot, I didn't follow it up with a shoot in the brown target. There's a miss. Now I'm down 20 points. That leaves me 20 points left, right?
Yep.
Well, then I had my foot outside the fault line for 2 shots, -10 for each shot.
That was 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 40 points. The thing is, though, there's another award that they give out at this match called the Pain in the Ass Award.
Oh, were you that? Sounds like you.
It's been given out 3 times now.
Yeah.
And all 3 medals are at my house.
I don't know what.
But here,
you must be lucky.
That's what it is. It's luck. Yeah, it's luck. So to try and avoid getting the Pain in the Ass award this year, when I got those procedurals, I could have brought up the fact that the rule book says fault lines have to be a minimum of 2 centimeters off the ground. And their fault lines are not 2 centimeters off the ground. So I could have said, hey, look, your fault line's not legal, so you can't give me procedurals. I wasn't able to feel it with my foot because it wasn't 2 centimeters. So if you're not following the fault line rules, how can you give me fault line procedurals?
What were they using for fault lines?
Strapping, which is only about 1 3/4. It's not a full 2 centimeters. So because I didn't want the Pain in the Ass award, and because you just don't do that, because that's a cheap way of doing it, like you're not gonna.
You did it. You might as well. You did it. Come on.
Of course, I didn't do it. I just said you don't do that. Well, I mean,
you were over the fault line. That's all.
Yeah, I was over the fault line. That's right. And so,
it's called ownership.
Aren't you supposed to argue though? Isn't that in the spirit of IPSC? Like you argue about all those kinds of things. Sorry, I brought out my ruler, and your fault lines are only 1 3/4 centimeters and not 2 centimeters. So,
you're right. You're right. IPSC stands for irrational people squabbling constantly, and there are people that would do that all day, every day. And
do you go over and kick dirt and like on the shins of the ROs?
No, because then you just told to go home. You disqualified on the spot.
Oh, well, I thought it was like baseball where you
no,
you have a hissy fit.
No, you do that on the fault line so that it doesn't measure up to 2 centimeters.
Yeah, that's right. Well, actually, so this occurred to me today while driving. I was listening to the 3-Gun show, and one of the guys from the American team that was over at the IPSC Shotgun World Championships in France, he stepped over a line. He was complaining that he was able to step over the line because the dirt had been piled up against it, blah, blah, blah. And I went, the Hampton fault line wasn't 2 centimeters. I could have appealed those calls, but then I would have been guaranteed to. So anyway, it didn't occur to me at the match, but it would have been funnier if it had occurred to me and I had chosen not to bring it up because I didn't want the Pain in the Ass award. But here's what I did do to make sure I didn't get the Pain in the Ass award. So one, I wasn't the CRO. Muffin was. So that meant every time there was a problem or a question or a concern, it wasn't me that went to get the match director or the range master. It was Muffin. I just stood back, kept my mouth shut, minded my business. And then when there was an issue that needed to be addressed by the match director, when the match director would come onto the stage, I'd be like, afternoon, Ken. Things are going great. These stages are a lot of fun. As far as this little snafu over here needs to be fixed, don't even worry about it, bud. It'll be fixed when it's fixed. It's all good. We'll be shooting again when we're ready, and that's all there is to it. And he looks at me, he's like, who the F are you? I'm like, growth and development, Ken. Growth and development. I'm a new man. I'm just here to support you in your efforts to put on a great level 3 match. And still,
all that lead level changed your personality too.
Apparently,
mellowed you out.
It didn't mellow Ken out because I still got the pain in the ass award. So when you come up the stairs now, you know where I got all my plaques on the way up the stairs on the way to the man cave. Yep. You got my Hampton 250 first place classic award. You got the President's Medal hanging over it. And then I got the pain in the ass award hanging over it. So every Hampton 250 plaque that I have has a pain in the ass award hanging over it. So if you're a listener who's coming to the charity shoot and you happen to make it this far up the stairs,
you will.
You'll see the pain in the ass awards hanging on my Hampton awards.
So why did you get pain in the ass award this time?
I don't know. Because I tried not to. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, they probably did it ahead of time, and it's like statistical probability. He's got it.
Somebody suggested they rename the award to the Trevor Award. I was offended by that.
Give it to you every year.
It's not right. It's not right. Now there was a couple of honorable mentions, and then me. So anyway, so the match was awesome. We went down there Friday night. Me and Will and Muffin. So Will is Muffin's stepkid. He's 14 years old. He just started shooting IPSC this spring. So this is a level 3 match with 60 plus competitors, and he finishes in 7th overall. He's a natural athlete, and just, oh man. And thank God he doesn't listen to us, because we're giving him advice on how to shoot stages, and he's not listening to us. And I realize it's a good thing, because let's let his learning curve be as steep and long as possible, because he's already gotten me on a couple of stages, and yeah. So anyway, he's gonna be phenomenal. Muffin just picked up a second 1911, so he'll be shooting in classic with us, which is super.
How old did you say he was?
14.
14.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
Yep.
Any other highlights from the match? We had an after match bonfire, and the match director is a really good singer and great guitar player, and we sat around the fire to the wee hours of the morning until I learned a new game. I learned a new game. Everyone pay attention. This game is epic. I'm not going to name any names in case the players involved may be, but the game is called Beer Can Jenga. And a long time ago, introduced me to this game. So here's how it works. The board for Beer Can Jenga is the guy who passes out. Okay. And the round ends when he wakes up and shakes and knocks the cans off. It's the funnest thing I've ever seen. And Chris Lynch, I don't know if Chris won every round, but I think he should have.
You were going to say names.
Well, Chris Lynch was a player, so I think it's okay to give Chris his due, because Chris always placed the most difficult can, in my opinion, the most difficult can to place right on top of the head. He always started that way. I went more for the groin area, to start, in case he swatted at it and hit himself. I thought it would be funny, but anyway. So Beer Can Jenga, guy passes out, everybody grabs a can, and you decide who's going to go first, and you go around the circle, and everybody places a can, right? And then when the round is over, when the guy wakes up, and the person who wins the round is the person who had the most cans stacked on the sleeping board before he wakes up. And then he curses a little, takes a drink of beer, goes back to sleep, and then round 2 starts. It's fun. I think there's a real good chance that Beer Can Jenga will be played at the charity shoot.
Okay.
Quite true. Yeah. So,
well, I mean, you need someone to crash and burn real early and hard.
But well, and that's great if depending on how long you want the round to last, I guess, if you want to play multiple rounds. But either way, everyone
gonna try to like sit and try to like not pretend they're not passing out and play multiple rounds for sure.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and if the cans fall and the person doesn't wake up, you can start another round anyway.
Yeah.
They don't have to wake up. It's funny when they do because there's some funny words said and stuff. But yeah, good times. So this week I've been reloading my match ammo. So last week during the podcast, the brass ferry came by and dropped off 2 50-pound sandbags full of brass. And there's a lot of once fired Winchester nickel brass in there. And it was a bit of a pain to process because the primer pockets were crimped. And when I used the Dillon Super Swager to decrimp the primer pocket, the flash hole burr, because the flash hole is just punched, right? So there's a burr of brass that's folded on the inside of the case. And it's hard to see in a rifle, but if you look inside your pistol brass, you'll see that burr. So that burr was then flattening out against the flash hole and reducing the size of the flash hole. So what a pain. I used a universal decapper, decapped them all, and then I cleaned them all in the stainless steel tumbler. And then in order to seat a new primer, I had to take the burr out. So when I take the burr out, then the flash hole had to be done. So here I'm doing like rifle level brass prep to pistol brass. And I did this because I just wanted to have nice, fresh, clean, once fired brass for the national. So I loaded up about 700 rounds. And I've got to get, when the show's done, I'm going to process some more brass and then work on my SummerSlam brass because I'm out of here like real soon. The day after the charity shoot, we leave. We take Crosnell back to Fredericton and I fly out on Monday. And when I come back, it'll be I come back on the 29th and the pre-match for SummerSlam starts on the 1st. So I got to get my SummerSlam ammo squared away, but my Nationals ammo is squared away. And get this, I woke up this morning at 7 o'clock and then I hit the road. I spent 7 hours on the road to deliver my ammo somewhere to have it delivered with other people's ammo. I call up Campar. I'm like, I need to ship some ammo. We do that. Great. All right. So where do you live? I live in Campbellton. Oh, well, there's nobody up there. Like we don't deal with anybody up there. There's only like 4 of you living there and that's not enough to bother. So Campar doesn't exist up there. So we contract out to Loomis. Okay. Well, what do I do? Well, you'll have to drive to Bathurst to take it there. I'm like, all right, not a problem. He said, but Loomis doesn't ship ammo. So make sure you don't tell them what's in the box.
Oh.
I'm like, really, dude? Well, let me check on something. And then while he's checking on something, he's trying to put me on hold or something. He hangs up on me. I'm like, I call right back and this girl answers. I'm like, yeah, I was just talking to Patrick and he was checking on something for me. Can you put me through to him? I know it's a call center. I worked in a call center in university. I know the chances are pretty slim to none. So I'll check. Oh, he's on the phone with another client. Give me your number and your name and I'll get him to call you. Well, guess what? I'm still waiting, Patrick, you jerk. So in the meantime, I call a dealer and I'm like, other than Campar, who do you deal with? And so he's like, well, there's not really anybody, but I know these people that are shipping their ammo all together. So why don't you talk to them? So I drove 7 hours to drop off, almost 600 rounds of ammo to this guy because he's going to ship it with his friend's ammo. And
Aww, you're a nice guy.
Yeah, very nice guy. So I got up this morning and drove to Amerson back. So for I drove to Amerson back.
Wow, that's quite the drive.
Like I said, I spent 7 hours on the road today. I walked in the office and he's like, so where are you going anyway? I'm like, nowhere, man. This is it. Here you go. See you later. I turned around and I left. Well, all right.
That's why you caught up on your podcasts.
I sure did. On the Where's Amelia Earhart podcast. I tried to listen to an episode of Jocko. What else did I do? Oh, last night, while I was on my CCFR conference call, I installed, where are you, my precious? Here you are. Switch over to the camera here. Of course, you're not going to be able to tell because there's a trigger lock on it. So 10 Foglio Witness. I got one in 9mm and one in 45. Does my picture look as bad to you guys as it does to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty grainy.
Yep.
I'm plugged in. I got the old, I got the fiber optic internet thing going on.
It might just be a laptop.
A brand new laptop. Crap.
Yeah. Whatever.
I'm looking at you and you look like you're in 1080p. Like I can literally see the pores on your bald head, but
I've got good lighting and I got a fantastic webcam.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Anyway, so last night I installed an STI short reach trigger on this gun and a STI extended magazine release. So now, if you look at these two guns, they are identical. Only one's in 9mm and one's in 45. So
how many 1911s are behind you right now?
Oh, 2 less than yesterday. If that matters.
Did you sell some?
Well, I had Muffins in my name because his license expired.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
So I transferred those out, and the transfer was approved 24 hours, so they're gone. So did you see that Instagram video I made? You want to see what happiness is? This is happiness. And I open up my Nanook case, and it's filled with 6 1911s.
So weird.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, moving on. This wasn't supposed to take me long at all. We got stuff to do and places to go and people to see. Oh, I bought a set of those portable printers. These things. Let me just switch back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So the idea is in PractiScore.
Yep.
In as far as IPSC is concerned, I can't speak to the other shooting sports, but the rule says you have to provide the competitor with a copy of his score. Okay. So what we were doing in the past is we're using carbonless copy paper. So the scorekeeper would call it the scores. Somebody type it into the tablet. The other person would write it on the little paper, and then you'd peel them apart. Stats would get one copy, and the competitor would get a copy. So Stats had the electronic version and a paper copy. We're not going to do that now. We're just going to keep Stats will rely on the electronic version. And I got this idea from the Nationals in Calgary in 2017. So when you clicked approve on your score, it automatically sent the signal to this little portable printer, and that printed out your time, your alphas, your charlies, your deltas, your mics, your penalties, whatever. It all came out on the printer. Okay.
How much is the printer?
A lot.
Oh.
How much is a lot?
They're like $60 a piece, what I paid.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
They came with this little case with a clip on the back, Adriel. So the way they were set up in Calgary is this clip was actually an elastic band belt loop, and you could put your 2 fingers in there. And so you had the tablet on your hand like this, and then the printer on the back like that, and the whole thing sat on your hand. It was rather comfortable. So anyway, yes, they're not cheap. There's a reason why I wanted them. I got other things in the works. So I installed some generic portable printer software on the tablet, and I do test page, print, and it works great. But when I try and do it from PractiScore, it goes searching for a Bluetooth printer and says there are none. So I've got to figure that out. And I got to get that figured out before I leave. I can't do this when I get back. It has to be done before I leave. So I'll have to get a hold of some people who did this already and see how they got it figured out. If only I knew somebody with smart computers and stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't do printer support. I hate printers.
All right, cool. And then finally, I'm going to tease something. I will have, hopefully, in a few weeks, some really, really big, and don't ask me because I'm not going to tell you.
Well, then why are you?
It's called teasing.
You're
teasing it. No spoilers. It's teasing. I will have some really, really, really big news with regards to IPSC.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I'm having a baby.
No, my food baby's not going anywhere.
IPSC's getting into 3-gun.
Something, a project for my club. How's that?
Okay.
All right.
Project for your club.
Adriel, what have you been up to?
Hello. I was late to the show today, and that's because I was over at the Stollery doing the check presentation for that match.
You were bowling actually, and you were on a streak and said you couldn't make it.
No, that's Brian.
Oh, right. Adriel was under a train.
Yeah, he was chasing trains, or he was throwing Mama from the train. There was a train.
Yeah, there was a train. Yeah. So we got the check over to them. Let's see here. Just a little check, just $10,000. It's just our first time doing one of these things. So
So again, I want to reiterate,
as some of you other guys might, if you have more experience running charity events or running like large 2-day events, this is really our first 2-day event where we ran something like this. So
I'm giving you the finger because you're being really cocky right now, but your cockiness and the $10,000 is why you're going to host the charity shoot next year.
I think this could be done.
I think it has to be done. If you can make 10 grand out your first time going, we promote the charity shoot year after year after year after year after year. It's a well-known event. It's established, good attendance. You should be able to pull 15 grand next year.
Maybe
from Alberta. Yeah.
Maybe. Perhaps.
If you can
got offers for help already from listeners.
Nice.
Yeah. People have been talking about it already. They agree with the.
I will get if you can raise $15,000, and I'm sober. I haven't had a drink yet, which reminds me I forgot to bring beer to the show. I will get a snowflake tattoo in honor of Frosty. The lamest thing that you would ever see on my body. If you can raise $15,000, I'll get a snowflake tattoo in your honor.
You're gonna get it on your butt.
It's a great idea. You want to help?
No. Oh yeah, actually, no, never mind.
You come up with the ideas and you're short on the delivery.
Where's this going?
It's going back to you.
This can be good. Remember, you shaved your legs live. We can do this.
Tattoo live. Oh, can I do the tattoo?
Yeah.
No.
I could get like a needle or like one of those like like a needle and like hit it with a lighter and like clean it off and get like a pan and like break it open, get some ink on there. I'll do the Maori, the Japanese one where you tap the thing and it just like I can make a tattoo. I can make a snowflake tattoo for you. No, not so much. Okay.
I'm reading an email from Frank Garcia. Sorry.
All right. Let's see here. I polished the review on the M17S and mailed it back to our listener, Ian. So he's got that back in his hands today. I did a quick video on 223 versus 556. So after we talked in length about it last time,
right,
I thought it'd be interesting to do a video on that. So I tested some different ammo in my 223 Wild and in my 556 upper, and got a couple of other data points, which is kind of
everything fed through your 556, but not
absolutely
everything fed through your 223, right?
You got it. The 223 Wild chamber. So that was a 223 Wild chamber with a Rainier Arms barrel and with a Daniel Defense barrel. So the Daniel Defense and the Rainier both jammed with that Federal Independence ammo, which I was reading a couple of different websites that did measurements on those. That's about where 556 is, most of the military stuff. I don't know if they I talked about this on the last week's show, right? Yeah. So anyways, I did a video on that. And then I turned around and ordered 2,000 rounds of 223. So Tenda's had a sale on for American Eagle, and it was like $409 per 1,000. So I ordered a couple thousand of that. And if you're still interested, they have both the 223 and the 556. Anyways, I got some 223. I also ordered another box of slugs from there and a whole bunch of other stuff. I got they have some low recoil competition slugs by Score, and I ordered like a bunch because they're way cheaper than $1 a slug, which usually your price point's right around $1 a slug, right? This stuff was $179 for 250 slugs, so the price is quite a bit lower, and they're low recoil. Which should be better for competition and that kind of thing, right?
How are they for cycling?
Fine. Yeah, fine. I cycled them out of mine. My buddy wanted to shoot some out of his 1301. They cycled fine in that. And my other buddy, he's like, hey, can I try some of those? And he was trying it in his, I think it was a Versa Max, and it cycled fine in that. So they both bought some boxes of that stuff off me. And then I was like, oh, crap. I only have 2 of these left out of 10.
Are they 2 3/4 or are they?
They're 2 3/4. Yeah.
Okay, so you can get the max.
Yeah. So I had to order some more. It was too successful. So I ordered a bunch of that. And then I got to thinking. So at the last 3 Gun event, one of the other competitors, he brought his boy out. His boy's 10 years old, and he shot excellent. Super safe the whole time. Not the slowest competitor. And that got me thinking, well, it's time to start like easing my boys into this. So one of them's 10, and you just mentioning there, Trevor, about that 14-year-old kicking butt. It's like, yeah, it's time to get going. At least get the safety principles in there.
Muffins kids can beat your kids.
Oh, without a doubt, because they don't do much right now, and when they have shot, they suck. So I need to get them up there.
Fix it.
Yeah. So I'm going to work on that. Part of that is I ordered a GSG 1911-22. So
nice. I want one.
They so I haven't owned a 22 handgun before. I didn't see the need. If they were non-restricted, I'd totally own one for grouse and all that kind of stuff. But since they're restricted and you only take them to the range and back, what do I need that for? But now I have a need. So I was looking around, and 22 handguns are very different beasts than a lot of the other stuff out there. So I did some research, talked to some different people, and the GSG got some high recommendations. At least the 1911-22 did. I found a used one on CGN with 4 mags for a decent price, so I ordered it.
And there's a ton of aftermarket parts for that gun. There's an improved.
It's 1911. It's a 1911. You can put on like a lot of the parts. You can just straight up replace with.
I have the list. I actually have the list because I used to own one of these. So I have the list of which parts are completely compatible with regular 1911 parts. But that being said, there's aftermarket parts available specific for the GSG. Better recoil spring, guide rod. Back in the day, the barrel bushings were cracking, and one phone call and they sent you the improved barrel bushing. That happened to me on mine. The slide, of course, is just cheap pot metal, right? It's like the same kind of metal that the Sig Mosquito is made out of. And there are
I can't remember if the slide's aluminum or if it's that zinc.
It's that zinc crap.
I know the frame was. I wasn't sure about the slide.
Slide is, yeah. And
Zanac or something like that.
Yeah. There's some cracked ones out there in the wild, but
yeah. Anyways, ordered one of those. So, that'll be neat. And then I was like, I guess I need a holster. Thankfully, it's a full-size 1911. So Tenda's had like the cheapo Blade Tech one for $50. So I ordered one of them. And then, hey, by the time I got all this order in through Tenda's, I had like a free like add-on kind of a thing. And lo and behold, they had some mag pouches for 1911 mags, which I believe the GSGs fit. So ordered a couple of those.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, mag pouches for it, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if they are the same width as a regular, like a 1911 9mm mag and a 1911 45 mag will fit in the same pouch. I don't know how that black magic works, but I don't know if the 22 one is built up to be the same width or not. It would be great if it was.
I have ways of making that fit. I have a 3D printer. This is not unachievable. They're more or less the same, the right size. That's close enough for me. Let's see here. My Elfman trigger came back in, and I have it installed in my rifle. Haven't got a chance to shoot it just yet. Actually, one other thing that came in today was what is this? It's called Aim Assist. It's a quick throw lever for the scope. So one of the things that held me back a little bit at this last match.
Where'd you get it? I need one. I want one for my Strike Eagle.
Yeah, they have them for the Strike Eagle.
Is the folding one that you can lay flat?
Nope, non-folding. Just a chunk of aluminum, and it's just a quick throw lever, so you can grab onto something and get a little bit more leverage off of it to rip it from one side to the other.
I like it, but I like the folding one. So when I'm hunting and in and out of the truck or whatever, it's not going to get in the way. I can pop it up for a match and then pop it back down. Yeah,
no, the folding ones are nice. This is more of like a competition one where it's staying up all the time. You will snag this on stuff. It's sticking quite far out from the rifle, no matter what position you've got it on. That is the most proud surface on the rifle. But
yeah, I would only pop it up on a stage that I know I'm going to use it. I wouldn't want it up all the time.
Oh, I'm going to use it. The stages that I needed it on were the ones that went from like long range to short range to long range, or anywhere where there was those transitions in there. So the idea with this is, again, just a quick way of transitioning that scope from min to max zoom as soon as possible.
My adrenaline be going, and I would just go,
That's the whole point. Yeah,
smash
that thing right over.
Not this. Yeah.
Hopefully the scope will be okay with that.
How did you break your focusing ring, Mr. Furlot?
Ah.
I rage quit
the stage.
Yeah. Well, let's see
That's
what else.
not like you.
Yeah. I got out about a bunch of patches. So patches and stickers are on the way to Patreonies.
Cool.
I got shipping boxes for the shirts.
Oh, did you?
I've got 20 of these guys. So this is the way these
that
things
works.
are going to go out. Yeah. I haven't loaded them up or written down the address or anything like that, but those are going to start going out. Some people said that they want to buy some too. So maybe I'll set up like a real quick and dirty store on the website or something so that they can buy t-shirts off of it. Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. And then
$1,000 a piece though.
$1,000 a piece. Yeah, I think so. That's about the going rate for a t-shirt, right?
No.
Yeah. And then my phone broke, and boy, like I rely on technology a lot because it hurt so bad. Like when I first broke, it broke for a real silly reason, and I think it'll be covered under warranty. But I mailed it away, and then the next day, my wife was like, "You're not going to be able to make it without your phone." I'm like, "God, come on, it'll be fine." But she was right. It hurt. In the morning, I got up, no alarm. Oh, yeah. That's on my phone. I got into the car. Time to listen to podcasts. No podcasts. Now you listen to the radio. You can listen to CBC News or music. Those are your two options. Okay. I get to work. What's my first meeting? Oh, well, usually I check on my phone, but it's not on there. So I have to log into a PC and I don't know, go take a look at my calendar on there. Oh, just like my buddy wanted to go meet me somewhere. It's like, don't text me or anything because I'm not going to get it. Afterwards, I looked at my Hangouts and I was like, I got a whole bunch of messages from him. I think I'm in the right place, but I'm not quite. So anyways, technology addiction is a thing. I got it. I don't care. I'm going to keep trucking.
And then you went and got a new phone?
Since I sent that one away, I've got my buddy was kind enough to furnish me with an iPhone 5 as a backup, but I'm happy I got something.
I sent him a text today, Kelly, with information that only I would know, and he's still like, is this Trevor? Because I got a new phone and no contacts. I should have did to you what Matthew did to me that time. Get your wife involved in everything and start stalking you, pretending to be a listener.
It would work. Right now, I'm just dazed and confused. Anyways. I don't know if I've talked about this on the show, but yeah, we're going to, me and the family are heading out to the Maritimes as well for the charity shoot. And
the kids are coming too?
Everyone's coming. Yeah.
Awesome.
Find out, what's going on over there, eat some crab, and then fly home and go teach a course.
It's not crab, it's lobster we eat on this end.
Yep.
Okay, I don't just seafood.
Okay.
I'm landlocked. I assume that all the bounty of the ocean is available wherever there's ocean.
Pretty much.
Lobster, salmon, mussels.
Yeah, any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, for cheap. That's what I'll take. Trevor, do you have a Glock?
I have 2 Glocks.
2 Glocks. Can I use a Glock at the charity shoot instead of the FNS?
Mm-hmm. So I need to. Okay, so right now, no, my belt is set up for FN, so you're gonna run FN because I don't have the time.
Oh, I'll bring a belt out. I'll bring my own belt.
All right then, I have a Glock
my
34 for you.
For Glock, I can bring my own mags. You got a Glock 34?
Yeah, man.
All right,
check that out. It's like brand new, and I paid $500 for it.
I'd rather it would be more glittery, but I'll take it.
Yeah, it's bone stock.
I was gonna say, why don't you just bring the glitter and you can glitter glue it?
No, you're not gonna glitter up my gun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I'll run that. I'll bring some mags and whatnot. And
yeah, for real, bring your own belt because then I could lend the FN to someone else if need be.
Totally.
The belt is ready to roll.
Yeah. Do I need anything else for mag pouches or any of that kind of stuff?
What do you mean?
I'm bringing really nothing. I'm going to bring my belt, and I hope that you guys have the rest, and I can EMTU some money for the ammo.
No, just order your ammo on XML's website using my code before you get here.
Oh, that's an idea too.
Don't take cash. You got to pay them, and I give you the ammo.
Okay. All right, we'll text about this. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Yeah, that's it for me. Kelly, did you go yet?
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to move us into the next section, which is upcoming events.
Yay.
Adriel, do you got any three guns to talk about?
Yeah, there's always something going on in
No, I mean specifically
here. Specifically?
Yeah.
About like
is
three
there a
of my
three-gun
guns
match this weekend you would like to promote, or maybe the weekend after?
Well, Chad's going to have a match on July 7th, but I'm not going to be there, so it's going to be like a little bit less special because I'm not going to be there, but it's still going to be special.
If they want to sign up, how do they do that?
Go to the Facebook. Facebook is the way you find out about these events, and then that goes
Chad's
or
Facebook
score.
page.
Yep, Chad's 3-Gun Facebook page or Practice Score. Practice Score is really the way to rock and roll for this kind of thing and register and whatnot.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Ferlacci course is in St. Paul, the 14th and 15th. There's still room available. If you want to sign up, email slamfireradio@gmail.com. Do you have you got a bunch of generic maple seed stuff here, Kelly? Anything that you need to talk about?
Yep. No, just that we're going to be releasing dates next week for Regina, Saskatoon, Edmonton, Lethbridge, Tabor, and Edson. So
if you're in those. If you're in those cities, stay tuned. Should they be watching the website?
Yeah, why don't they go to the website, so mapleseedrifleman.com, go there, sign up for event notification, then you'll be notified when the events are released.
Perfect system.
Yeah, I know, pretty good. The other piece is we do have more events happening in those areas, but we haven't finalized the plans with those ranges yet, or we haven't received a range agreement. So once we get those, we'll get out some more events. So that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a lot for go sign up and stay tuned.
Yeah, no, sorry.
There's a CRPS match. That's the Canadian Rimfire Precision Series. Is that what the S stands? Series match on August 5th at the Tabor Shooting Foundation, and another on August 12th at the Nicola Valley Fish and Game Club in Merritt, BC. Visit rimfireprecision.ca for more information and for registration links.
Yep.
The charity shoot. A couple of announcements. I just want to cover that no one has sent a donation. So come on, it's not too late. You can send an EMT to slamfireradio@gmail.com. That's correct, right? No one has sent a donation, because I'd hate to say no one did and be wrong. But I'm pretty sure no one did. And if I am wrong, I apologize. But to the rest of you who didn't, it's not too late. Pre-registration is not required. There's 3 shooting events on the 7th. The first is going to be a steel challenge. Bring 200 rounds to get you through the steel challenge. Bring extra ammo for everything, guys, because when the 3 main events are over, we're going to have 1 range dedicated just for pistol shooting on steel. So if you just bring enough for the steel challenge, you're going to be short for this, because there's going to be an opportunity to shoot several hundred more rounds on your own time on X metal steel targets. So make sure you bring lots of pistol ammo. Also, for the trap, the club is going to provide the clays, but you need to bring your own ammunition for the trap. You need at least 1 box, because you're only shooting 1 round. So a box of 25, doesn't matter what gauge, but it does matter what shot size. Trap is only shot on my range with 7.5 or number 8. So don't show up there with 3.5-inch magnums thinking you're cute. Bring trap ammo, please. So don't forget to bring your 12 gauge or to bring your trap ammo. Bring lots of 22, because not only is there going to be a gallery silhouette 22 shoot, there's also the opportunity to shoot your 22 rifle on the rifle range after the fact. If you're running your 22 rifle in the steel challenge can be run with a 22 pistol, 22 rifle, or a full power handgun. So if you bring your 22 rifle, don't forget that after you're done shooting the steel challenge, you're going to need another minimum 25 rounds to shoot the silhouette. So the moral here is bring lots and lots and lots of ammo. And I need to go back actually for a second. Remember that along with the Ferlacci class, we will be holding a CCFR and Slamfire Radio pub night. And that is going to be, why don't we have that right there with the Ferlacci course stuff? Is that somewhere else down here?
The pub night in Edmonton.
Yeah,
it's going to be Thursday, but I think we should push the time a little bit later so that we
can start without us.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, start without us. We'll get there when we pick Matthew up from the airport. That's the news on that.
Fashionably late.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna do that entourage entrance. Only the entourage is already there. It's just gonna be us walking in. That's lame. Never mind. It's Thursday, July 12th at Brewster's in West Edmonton. Adriel, you're gonna call and make a reservation?
Yeah, I'll let them know that a whole bunch of hooligans are going to show up.
Perfect. So Ferlacci's actually in there twice, I think. Yep, it is.
Cool.
All
Yeah.
right. I think that's enough of that. Okay, news. There's a couple of stories here. Who put those in?
I put those in. The first one was the Alberta story. So charges were dropped against this fella in just around Okotoks there, just south of Calgary. It was found that he fired a warning shot at someone. It ricocheted and hit them, and he got off because of that.
Ooh.
So the warning shot worked?
No, the
Well,
warning shot failed.
The defense of using the warning shot worked, but boy, what an odd setup. Anyways, yeah, he's off. They dropped their charges. They didn't even like take it to court. They took it to, and then they just dropped kind of day of. So that's nothing happening there because it was a warning shot, which, as far as we know, shouldn't work, but worked great.
Still adamantly
not a good idea.
Shot. Nope.
But it worked.
A gun is not a tool for warning people. It's my opinion on that. Yep. All right, who's got the next one?
Well, this one's out of your area, Kelly. Why don't you go for this one?
Okay, let me just pull it up here. This is a clip. Oh, this is the Hamilton one. So the same sort of thing. Actually, he shot.
This wasn't the same thing because this is not a ricochet.
No, it wasn't a ricochet.
Put 2 shot shells into a dude.
What it is a Hamilton owner was found not guilty by shooting death a guy who broke into his truck. So this gentleman, he was charged with second-degree murder. It was 2:00 in the morning. It was dark. He was in his home. His dog alerted him and to something that was going on outside. He looked out his window and saw that his truck light was on. He went outside. He is somebody. The reasoning. He's a reservist, and they even brought in his commander, saying that somebody who's in the military, you prepare for anything. He said that he got his 12-gauge shotgun. He loaded it with 2 slugs, went outside, and the guy was in his truck. He asked the guy to basically show his hands, get out of the truck. The guy that was sitting in the truck swung, and the defense was, he said that he thought he was going for a firearm, so he shot him. So he got found not guilty of second-degree murder because of that.
This is called furtive movement. And this is one of those true cases where you need to be able to articulate and authenticate why you did what you did. And so this is the man who has training, and he recognizes and understands what furtive movement is. Correct. Movement consistent with someone going for a weapon. So if they were able to explain all that in court, then yeah, I mean, he was based on what he knew, and what anyone else knowing what he knew would have done the same thing in his shoes at that time, then he's not guilty.
Right. So the prosecution, they argued that he didn't call 911 first, and he just went out. So
the prosecution argued that, but I'm pretty sure that's not the law.
Nope.
Right. So
that is exactly so he was found not guilty, and yeah.
Moral of the story: don't steal stuff, and your chances of getting shot will go down.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
go ahead.
They were in agreement that he was in the truck to steal it. So
now, I mean,
that part shouldn't matter.
But it should. No.
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean, trucks are replaceable. He didn't shoot him because he was stealing the truck. He shot him because of furtive movement.
Correct. He was in fear for his life at that point because he thought that he was going for a gun, obviously.
Right.
So, right. Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. New gun stuff. Adriel, you got these in here?
Yeah, there's a couple in here. One of them is just these Raptor LT charging handles. So Nordic Marksman has some of these. These are like a larger AR charging handle. If you want to pick some up, they're right around $85.
Are they? I'm trying to waiting for it to open here. Are they ambi or?
Yeah, they're the Raptors. I got one around here somewhere. They're ambi. They're quite large, and they're very easy to grab onto. So.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, one of the nice things with these is that you can grab onto them. It's good for a competition gun. I would not.
No.
If I had an AR-ish rifle that I was going to use for hunting or something like that, I would not put it on there.
No,
because this is a good way of accidentally taking your rifle out of battery when you run into a tree or something like that. So
yeah, I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised at the size of the Canadian issued charging handle. It's quite large. All things considered, like you said, you look at a regular charging handle on an M4 type rifle, and it's small and low profile for a reason.
Yeah,
just like a carry gun has a small, low profile magazine release for a reason. You have to really want to activate it.
Yeah, you don't want to accidentally activate one of those things, but
nope.
Yeah, I guess they use some big ones.
So Canik is bringing us a RMR ready gun, huh?
Yeah, so they've sold this one in the past, but these are just back in stock. So Arms East has these. These are the TP9 SFS.
And he's frozen.
So this is the full pistol with red dot for $994, and that's comes with a holster, comes with a couple of other things as well. So.
That's good. That's a good price. That optic is nice. We've put that same optic on a couple of pistols at the shop, all with an external mount, mind you. Going directly to the slide so much better because it gets you right down on the slide. You don't have something in the dovetail and then something on top of that and then the optic on top of that. So, I mean, it works in a pinch, but this is better.
Yeah, and the price is excellent for a pistol, a competition pistol with a red dot already rock and roll for just under $1,000.
Yeah, even if you had you might be able to pull it off with an FN FNS if you got them when they were cheap. But other than that, there's no other option out there to get the gun out of the box with the optic on it for that price.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this next one is big, man. This next one is blowing my mind.
Yep.
Do you have one yet? Did you do it? Did you pull the trigger on
it? No, but I'm really looking at that receiver set. So Arms East and Iron Guns are both bringing in the Stag 10S. It's their AR-10. It's got a slant cut on the rear of the receiver that makes it incompatible with AR-10 uppers and lowers. So it's not an AR-15 derivative. It's an AR-10 derivative, and it's non-restricted.
It's non-restricted. It's Stag.
Yeah.
And if you buy from Arms East with a lower parts kit, it's under $700.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. That's insane. It's straight up black rifle, AR-10, made by Stag. I can't stress that enough. I've had 2 Stag AR-15 receiver sets, and they are top quality. I can't say enough good things about them. And here you are, non-restricted AR-10. Just buy it. Like, if you haven't already done it, by the time I'm done this sentence, you should have 2.
Well, and they're the first ones that Arms East is bringing in are 6.5 Creedmoor versions with an excellent barrel on them. So, I'm thinking, if you're shooting PRS, you could run a bolt gun or you could run a gas gun. That's a lot of guys these days are running AR-10 rifles for PRS because you've got that quick follow-up shot and the accuracy is as good as bolt. And something like this where you're running like a really nice barrel in a cartridge that's good out to 1,000 yards. Fantastic idea for that kind of thing, right?
And after playing with the BCL 102, the idea of an AR-10 really seemed realistic. Like, it seemed like obtainable. Like, this is a kind of platform that I could get into. I mean, I've got an M305, which is cool. It's a semi-automatic 308, but it's a milsurp kind of thing. I liked having a semi-automatic 308, but oh man, this would be a perfect complement to my SLR 5.56 AR-ish non-restricted, and now I'm 1 in 308. If
Yeah,
I wasn't
better
oh,
optics
man.
platform than the M305 as well.
Way
so you
better.
want to put something with optics on it. This is no better. No better.
No,
out there.
you don't have to put your M305 in a chassis, and then you still just have an M305 in a chassis.
Yep.
You can
with
buy
Rock and Lock mags and all that other.
Yeah, you can buy match grade air 10 barrels.
Yeah, or buy the one that comes with it, because they sell that one with a match grade barrel on it. It's quite heavy, like the match grade one with the 22-inch barrel, the heavier barrel on it. It's got to be. When I was looking at it, it was like 10 or 11 pounds, but with you around like 7 or 8.
Dude, the answer is 2 uppers.
Yep.
You know, kitty up. Okay, what's next?
If you're looking for Sierra bullets, Western Metal just got a pile more of those in.
Okay.
I don't know.
I like Sierra bullets.
Yeah.
What's this? What is this? Is this some scoop that you have?
No, it's not.
Told you.
It's not a scoop.
Where'd you read this?
The end of it. What's the end of June? Did you get your SLR yet?
Oh, you're right. This isn't science.
The last time we got was end of June.
And today's the 28th, and I still have a half-built gun on the floor.
Yeah.
A lot of people are bailing too. Some angry people in CGN.
Well, did they want crap, or did they want to wait for the kids?
They want what they were promised.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all. You've not heard me complain, though, have you?
No.
And you know why? I not for 1 second believed that it would be ready on time. And that's all there is to it. I want it, but I've never done a pre-order, and I always try and avoid first gen of products.
But this is an AR upper and lower. It's hard to mess these up,
right? Unless the design for holding the two halves together turns out to be crap or something. But I doubt very much it is.
Yeah.
And so this is why I don't usually do a pre-order, or this is why I don't do pre-orders, and this is why I try and avoid first gen products. But that being said, this was too exciting. If they come up with a better version in 2 years, well, I'll probably get that too. So I'm not upset that it's not in. It'll be in when it's in. Do I want it yesterday? Sure, I want everything yesterday, but it is what it is, and I'll get it when I get it. So it's too awesome to really complain about. I know a lot of guys are excited about the 180, but this is the one for me.
Yeah, I think for the guys who want to build their own, the SLR is still the way to roll, unless they want an AR-10.
Which I mean, I do. I need one of those too, for sure.
Yeah,
so
then you got to get the Stag 10S, because that price is killer.
That price is killer. Are we ready to jump into the main topic?
Yes. You guys were talking a little bit earlier about one that was pre-recorded. There was not one pre-recorded. But we've got another one ready to rock and roll now.
Which is pre-recorded?
Nope.
Oh.
Not pre-recorded.
Okay. What's our main topic then?
Kabooms with Dave. I was just on the side chat there letting you guys know.
Oh, I don't read that. Talk to me. I'm not at the library. I didn't sign up for reading. It's a podcast.
All right. Have you ever had a kaboom?
I don't know. You know what you're talking about. Just take it away.
All right.
Accidental. Sorry.
Not an accidental discharge.
No, it's
accidental.
Not.
You
it's
put too much powder
in
a cartridge, or it blew up and threw your extractor everywhere and that kind of stuff.
I had a double charge 22 once. That was interesting.
Okay.
And last weekend at the level 3 match I was at, I had what was it was close to a squib. The bullet came out and actually went downrange and struck the target, but the sound was wrong, the recoil was wrong, and when I pressed the trigger, I had a dead trigger. I looked at the gun and my hammer was forward. Oh. So I went into tap rack, and I had that, and then I had a stovepipe on the next stage, first malfunction ever in that gun, and then I realized I hadn't cleaned it since last year, so it was bound to happen eventually. Anyway, kabooms.
Yeah, kabooms. So Dave just had a kaboom this week with some Tula. Dave, take it away.
All right, boys and girl.
Hi, Dave.
Oh no, put a shirt on. We don't have very many rules, but that's one. This isn't your Reddit show. This is Slamfire. Get dressed.
Come on.
That's better.
My safety blanket is on.
Yeah. Welcome back, Dave.
My safety blanket is on.
Yeah.
What happened?
Where do I start? Okay. A long
Start
time
by
ago,
getting dressed, and then you tell us about the kaboom.
a long time ago in a range far away, I was sitting testing out a beautiful rifle. As a matter of fact, I have pictures of said rifle. Can you believe it? I came prepared.
Wow.
Fascinating. I know. Well, that's not the rifle. Whoops. That's a pistol. But yeah, there it is. That's the rifle. So I did
That's a
some
beautiful
nice
range,
testing.
beautiful rifle.
Thank you. This is a Tikka T3 Varmint in 308 because I really wanted to have something that was of good quality. And I think the quality really helped me out here for reasons that will become apparent very soon. I was doing some ammo testing, and I got to tell you, this bad boy shoots exactly the way that it should with some testing. And then the day after, I went take the same rifle out with some friends just to, shoot for fun. And I put some Tula ammo in there because we were going to do the battleship game. Have you guys seen it? They're the, splatter targets with battleships on them. So my buddy had his 22. I had a 308, so he was at a slight disadvantage.
A little
bit. And then after our first couple of shots from the same box, I'm guessing from the same box of Tula, I started to notice that the primers were slightly protruding from the bottom of the brass. Now, for those of you that don't know, I shouldn't be calling it brass because Tula is steel-cased ammunition, and it uses Berdan primers. So there are this great big sausage plate-sized primers at the bottom of the brass. Steel. And then after one too many clicks, this happened. The gas flew back in my face when I pulled the trigger. I was disoriented for a second, and when I looked at the side, there was an extractor sitting on the table. And there shouldn't have been an extractor sitting on the table. So I opened the action, and the case stayed inside, and a spring and the plunger fell out of the gun. The spring and the plunger that held the bolt extractor in place. After making sure that my face was still intact, which was every bit as fun as you can imagine it is, I asked my friend to lend me his cleaning rod. Yes, kids, everyone should have a cleaning rod with you at all times.
Yep.
When you're at the range, because you never know when you're going to get a stuck case or when a case will blow up on you, i.e. like this time. And we tapped out the piece of steel, and the primer fell off, and there is a split about a quarter of the circumference of the diameter of the case body between the rim and the bottom of the case body. Curiously enough, the bullet was still on at 100 yards, right where I was aiming. So I hit the battleship. So yay, I guess. Yeah, it split. The extractor fell out. I still couldn't believe it. The spring and the plunger that held the extractor in place were on the table, and I was able to actually reassemble the rifle. Now, here's the interesting question for you all: what to do now? Because what I did is I took a piece of fire brass from this rifle, from the reloads that I showed you earlier, and I fed it into the rifle. So once again, this is an empty piece of brass. There is no bullet, no powder. It's just a fire piece of brass, and dimensionally speaking, it seems to fit snugly, which means that the dimensions haven't changed in the chamber up to a certain extent, however much you can, measure that by feel. And the brass still extracts the way that it's meant to. So I reassembled the bolt in the correct way. Visually, there is nothing wrong with the bolt. Visually, there is nothing wrong with the chamber. Although, how good can you possibly look inside of a chamber when, everybody knows how good you can look inside of a chamber whenever you're doing your axe and proof. You really can, is there a piece of brass? Yes or no?
So it does look like it was pressure then. It doesn't look like a case failure because the fact the primer came out.
It was not. Yeah, it was definitely
the primer came out and and it burst through the recess there where the rim is, right? So if it would just burst through the recess in the rim, you could say, maybe it had like a defect in the case there. But the fact it did that and it knocked the primer out, it must have been like way too high pressure.
There must have been 3 or 4 other pieces of steel case brass that had literally a visual millimeter or 2 of primer protruding from the bottom of the brass. So that entire box was loaded weird. And this was the one round that was extra spicy, I guess.
Extra spicy 308.
Extra spicy 308. Yeah.
Did you send it back for a refund? Can you get a refund from Tula?
It's not my ammo. I traded that ammo from somebody else.
Yeah, but you should be able to contact Tula Canada and say,
I have contacted Tula Canada. The first thing that I did after I got home and, took a breather, had a beer, and sat down was I contacted Tula Canada. They seem to be the only people that bring in Tula into the country. I don't know. I mean, it would make sense that TulaAmmoCanada.com is the, importer and distributor of Tula ammunition. And my friend bought from them in 2015 because after I sent them an email, they literally replied to, "Thank you, David. What was your order number?" So I sent them my buddy's order number, and that was 3 days ago. So I'm wondering what's going to happen with that.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, it looks like your gun handled it really well, though. I mean, it popped the extractor out, but
yes.
Good to go otherwise.
And that's the thing. I'm not sure. And everybody that I talk to goes, it's either fine or it's not. And if it's fine, carry on. But if it's not fine, and it's entirely plausible, because it did basically blow up without, turning banana peel Elmer Fudd. What to do?
That's a lot of pressure to just like breach that steel case. That's a lot of pressure in there.
Yeah. So. Keep in mind that SAAMI specs for 308 are 62,000 PSI, I believe. So it went more than that. And the rifle, obviously, like many modern and not so modern, because this is a very old design, bolt action rifles has a vent hole on the side of the receiver, specifically for this kind of situation. In the event of a case rupture, case head separation, bore obstruction, and there is energy to be released, and backwards at the shooter is not where you want it to go. You do have a hole right on the side of the gun for it to vent out the gas. And I'm guessing some of the gas went in that direction. And some of the gas went out the extractor. And some of the gas went back at my face. There was no, I should make note of this, there was no powder. I did not have powder thrown back at me. I did not have debris thrown back at me. This was purely gas. It just felt like a really, really, really powerful warm breeze. And, that's not really what you want to be feeling when you're firing your I don't know, 3.0 is considered a full-size rifle cartridge.
Yeah, you don't want that happening. No, it's I can't say I have had a kaboom with any of my rifles or pistols or any of that kind of stuff. I've had some like failed to shoot. I've had some squibs. I haven't had one of those yet. But
we had one on the line last time we were at the Maple Seed. We had So it was only 22. It was a 1022, but it was a squib, failed to extract, and it blew the back off of the 22 casing basically. So, and lots of gas at the side. People that were beside the guy were going, "Yes, please check out that gun." We took the gun off. We took the gun off the line, but I've seen it with a 1022. I've also seen it with an M&P 1522 as well. Same thing happened, and it's different. It's that piff, but it's also not piff. It's like Dave was saying.
You can hear the gas coming out instead of going down the barrel.
So, you kind of want to, So, Dave, you're going to go and get your rifle checked out, or what are you going to do?
I thought about that. And what I'm going to do and what I did is I went to brownells.com and I ordered a set of go, no-go gauges for 308. Now, what's that going to tell me? It's going to tell me headspace. And what headspace is anybody care to comment exactly as to what headspace is instead of me pulling something out of my butt?
Just the distance from the base of your case to the shoulder, which is where it would headspace off of.
Exactly. So dimensionally speaking, like I said, I stuck the fire piece of brass, which is the size of the chamber, in there, and it seemed to fit just fine. Am I expecting that to have changed from this? I don't know. From anybody that I talked to, and I made a post about this on Reddit on the two big subreddits that could, yield some decent exposure, which is r/guns and r/reloading. Both the guns has massive amounts of traffic, and reloading is, the kind of people that might have experienced a extra spicy load or two. And the consensus was pretty much split down the middle. Yeah, it's fine. The gun clearly did its job, and you're okay. So it didn't blow up. It's probably fine. And then the other half is go get it checked by a gunsmith. Now, what's a gunsmith gonna do? I'm no gunsmith, but he's probably gonna look at the bolt. He's probably gonna look at the head spacing.
Yep.
Might do a casting of the chamber, because one of the things you'll get with those go no go is the length to the lance, but it won't tell you if it's expanded to the side. So a casting using like Serasafe or something like that of the chamber would tell you if it's like ballooned any to the sides or not.
That's true.
But that's like, I think your go no go gauge is fine. I think that's
see, that's kind of why I did it, because I could take the gun to a gunsmith, give him $100 for 5 minutes of work, because that's kind of how gunsmiths are. You if it's a 5-minute job, it's going to cost you $100. If it's an hour job, it's going to cost you $100.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I spent $100 ordering some goodies out of the States, because I got the go no go gauges. I got 308 dummies and 223 dummies, because I don't have those. And I got a box of those dummy 12 gauge shells that you got, Adriel, because
those are awesome.
Those are awesome. So I got all that for $150 instead of paying a gunsmith $100 to tell me the same thing.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Cool. All right.
The next thing I'm gonna do is quite literally take some of my not too spicy ammunition that I have, stick it in there, put some sandbags around the gun, and tie a little string to it. It'll see what happens.
Your go no go, and then your test firing with it will tell you if there's anything wrong. But yep,
kaboom! I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you didn't get hurt.
Yeah, me too. My buddy who was shooting with me, who's 29 years in the Army, he says that he's seen everything that can happen to a gun, from double feeds to squibs to explosions, but he's never seen a case failure. Like a legit failure of the case from keeping gases in. Like everything else that can fail in a gun, he's seen it. He hasn't seen the case fail before.
I've had cases fail. I ran that Norinco CJ95, their surplus 223 stuff, and that I've had case failures on. But you would never know unless you looked at it afterwards.
Yeah,
it would crack on the shoulder or crack on the body and let some gas out, but it would still ultimately mostly work because they're brass and because the rest of it would seal around that crack. But with your steel and right on that rim there's nothing, like it's not going to seal there. There's nothing to seal against. It's pulling all that pressure out right then and there. So just an unfortunate and a reality with shooting steel cased ammo, right? It will not seal that good comparatively, right?
One thing that was, again, anecdotal, but it was pointed out in the queries that I made in the forums, is that this is a known attribute of tool ammunition. I had no idea about that.
That it just blows up in people's guns, or that it's like
it blows up in people's guns and it blows up guns. So again,
words
it's
wise. Don't run tool ammo. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I want to get on to the rest of the show here, just because I know that you've got to head out here pretty quick here, Kelly.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on and telling us about your Kaboom story, Dave.
No problem.
Okay.
See you guys later.
Later.
Bye, Dave.
All right, listener feedback. Anything on YouTube? I have not been following.
No, not really. Just a lot of people want.
All right. So from Justin, and he says, "Hello, Slamfire Radio. Just wanted to send out a correction to Brian, as I did spell his name wrong in my last email. My apologies directly to Brian for that one. I am still would voting for him." Okay. I think that says, "I'm still voting for him to be on the show as an additional member once the team member of the team once Matthew gets back. I really appreciate his interaction with Adriel, Trevor, and Kelly on the show. I think it would be a disservice to the show to only allow a temp position to be placed over such an interesting host."
And just to note, he is spelling Brian with a Y.
Now,
Yes.
this time, yes. And also, just to note, your opinion is noted and disregarded. I would also like to let Kelly know that what she is doing to promote the shooting sport as part of the Maple Seed program is Maple Seed is not hyphenated. So first it's Brian with an I, now it's Maple Seed with a hyphen.
Hey.
Who wrote this? Ginger Snaps? My goodness. All right, moving on. Maple Seed program is absolutely needed in this day and age. And I think many others, are impressed with you, with your steadfastness, determination, and tenacity. And we all thank you. Without you and Kevin getting the ball rolling, marksmanship would still be a thing that is only talked about but not experienced. You're right. Before Maple Seed and Kevin and Kelly, no one could hit anything anywhere on the globe. Thank you, Kevin and Kelly.
We're just all bullet hosers.
All
Yeah.
bullet holders.
Uh,
By the way,
I
Kelly,
think he's talking about Maple Seed, but there's more
I'm
people
reading
with Maple
I'm reading
Seed
what
than
Justin
Kevin
wrote.
and Kelly.
Yeah, and apparently only Kevin and Kelly invented Maple Seed. Not
There's-
Rick, not Mario, not
Stacy.
the
Never heard of them.
princess.
Never heard of him.
No.
But thank you.
You're gonna love this next part, Kelly.
Oh, what does it say?
By the way, Kelly, you don't look a day over 29.
Aw.
And don't let Trevor bait you into thinking you're not. Listen, I've never said she looked old. I never said she didn't look hot. I said she was old. There's a difference.
Trevor,
Yes?
shut up.
Oh, I just called you young looking and hot.
No, you
And
said
then
I'm old.
You are old, but you're also young looking and hot. Why
Thanks.
can't it be why can't it be both? I'm just gonna keep going. I'm in so much trouble.
Yeah, you are.
I can actually feel my ears turning red, Kelly.
Good.
I will let you know how things go with trying to search for that Velcro attached type baseball cap, just in case any other listeners are interested. I listened to the listener feedback and understand that one listener, Amanda, as well as Kelly and Trevor, tried out for the CBSA. What was the draw towards going in that direction? And what happened as those that attempted did not continue to pursue that type of career? In other words, how come you're not there and are doing what you're doing now? All right. Kelly, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Why don't you go first? But there's a little disclaimer. It says if it's too personal, then
Yeah.
don't.
Well, I read the disclaimer and
You
I'm gonna go
decided
for
to move forward. Okay.
yes. So
You guys could be claiming folding knives for Canada and defending our borders right now.
yeah. So honest to God, my wife and I used to watch the show, Canadian Border Services, and or whatever the TV show, the reality TV show was called. It's too bad it's off the air now. But anyway, and I really enjoyed it, and I said either I said, you know, I could see myself doing that, or she said it, and then I was like, you know what? I was always like, out of high school, I wanted to become a police officer, and I chickened out. In university, after my first degree, I wanted to go join the military and get into the direct entry officer program, and I chickened out. So 2 regrets I've been living with my whole life. So sitting there at the age of like 40 going, I wonder. Well, you know what? I'll never know if I don't try.
Yep.
So, and I was kind of getting tired of my job, but I came to my senses on that. My job is awesome. I was just having a slow year, and every once in a while, I think I need to shake stuff up. So I thought, hey, why not give this CBSA thing a try? Why am I not there? The night before the exams, I went to Filthy's house. I had a head cold. I didn't sleep all night. I may have gotten 3 hours sleep. And I went into the exams, and Kelly will tell you, like, I was stressing out prepping for the exams.
She was. He was.
Yeah, because math.
He was messaging me. What do you mean?
Yeah. So I needed to brush up on my math bad. And ironically, the exam I thought I would fail with the math, I passed. And the exam I thought I would ace, I failed. So I could have went back to rewrite it, but then I was like, nah, yeah. I don't know. I gave myself enough time to think it over and realize that I am very happy in my career, and it would be quite a change. Mind you, Christina was all for it. She's like, Trev, get the job, and we'll figure it out from there. If we got to move, we got to move, whatever. But you don't know if you don't. So she was like incredibly supportive. Maybe she knew all along I wouldn't get it. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to go because I thought that kind of work, that kind of interaction with the public and stuff, that kind of like there's some investigative aspects to it. You can end up anywhere. You can end up on a team that is doing basically kind of like immigration stuff. You can end up out in Vancouver and searching boats. You could end up at a port, or you could end up at a border crossing in St. Stephen, New Brunswick, where 3 cars drive by overnight on the overnight shift, and you're the new guy, and that's the shift you have.
Yeah. You got to make sure that they don't take jackknives into Canada, though, because you got to protect our borders.
If you end up in a position like that, you're essentially a glorified tax collector. So there's some good and some bad to the CBSA, but anyway, yeah, so I failed one of the tests, and then I never bothered to go back and rewrite it. That's why I'm back where I started.
Back where you were meant to be.
Well, anyway, I'm here.
All right. I work for the federal government already. I was looking at taking some time and taking leave. I would have had to significantly from where I work currently to go and apply for the CBSA. It is something that I wanted to do, but I was offered a position with what I was doing with corrections, and I felt that it was something that I could be good at and I would really like to explore. So my decision was to stay with corrections and just take on the new challenge. And I'm glad I did, because it's something that I feel really good about, and it's something that I really, really enjoy as well. So that was the reason why. Yeah.
Cool. Next one's from Ginger Snaps, and I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it just the way he wrote it.
Yep. Oh.
Enigma and into a new mystery. Ordered a new firearm from Freedom Ventures. Arrived at the local Shoppers Drug Mart / post office, and a young man with a cop mustache served me. Gave him the card. I pulled my eyed and received my parcel. I asked him, "What do you think is inside the box?" He looked at the tag. Freedom Ventures. Never heard of it. I don't know, he said. I looked at him and said, "It's an STI-3 gun." What's that? He asked. A handgun, I replied. His little social justice warrior was blown away. I laughed all the way to the parking lot. This firearm is pornographic beauty. 2-pound trigger is so smooth. Definitely not worth the price. Mo can do the same job for a whole lot less. Only problem is, period, you just have to take a small ear beating.
What does that mean?
I don't know. 2 things. James, stop typing on your phone and then proofread it before you send it. And like Bubble says to Ricky, one of those words you just used isn't really a word. And read it when you read your email that you wrote to us, read it to yourself out loud. And if it sounds the same way it does when I read it to you, and that sounds okay, then go ahead and send it, and we'll just give you a spot at the back of the bus, the short bus. If it doesn't sound right, fix it, then send it.
Thank you for writing into the show, Ginger Snaps. It was
Have you ever met the man?
No, I haven't.
See, I have. And every time I see him, I give him a big hug, and he's not a social justice warrior. He's not going to get butthurt by my
No, is he coming
editing
to the charity
suggestions.
shoot?
No, he's not coming to the charity shoot. He
Oh.
works too freaking much.
Oh, come on. Bring the girls.
But he's in
Yeah.
New Brunswick. Isn't that like doesn't he just have a 15-minute drive over there?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's why I spent 7 hours on the road today to drop off my
Yeah.
ammo, because everything's 15 minutes away.
Mhm.
All right. If you too would like me to butcher your email and then tell you how to write a better one, you can send us an email at slamfireradio@gmail.com. iTunes reviews. This one comes from Mardig T. And the title is Great Podcasts. The review is Great Podcasts. The end. That's it. That's all it says. Great. Interesting topics, fun team, and broad set of topics. Keep up the good work. Every firearm enthusiast in Canada should follow Slamfire. I concur.
Yes.
agreed.
2.5 million.
Yep. Shout outs. I have one to Tracy Wilson. I received a package in the mail today. Thank you very much.
And I have one. I have one for Dean at Select Shooting Supplies. And I just want to say I received a package in the mail today as well. Thank you.
I need to call Dean. They're sponsoring SummerSlam. I need to get that all squared away.
Okay.
Cool.
That's it.
Yep.
All right.
Patreonies. Any new ones? I don't see nothing. Nope. No new
There
ones.
was some revised amounts. Someone changed theirs to 454. And we've got one for 1022. So yeah,
Nice. 1022. Damn. That's awesome.
yeah,
That's my new
that's a good
favorite.
one. Yeah. No, there's a couple of interesting ones in there, but yeah, no new ones yet.
Cool. All right. Well, until next time, everybody, please join one of our national firearms associations, such as the CCFR. Be sure to check us out on Gun Owners of Canada and like us on Facebook. We're at 1,913. I missed the day when we hit 1911, and that saddens me. But I don't need anybody to go unlike and then bring it to my attention. just keep on keeping on.
Keep it rolling.
You do you, and we'll do us, and keep hitting the like button. So, any words of wisdom, guys, until next week?
I don't know. I'll see some of you Maritimers at the charity shoot in a week or two.
So,
Sweet.
yeah, our next show will be the night before the Maple Seed. I wonder if we'll get a recording in or what we're going to do.
Yeah. So it's going to be the day of the Verlace course. We'll be rolling in just as you guys are getting finished. Probably.
Adriel, if you don't bring a mic and stuff, we're not going to get a recording done. We'll just have maybe skip it and go next week.
Flying in that day, or do it late. What if we just do it a day late?
Friday night after the day before the cherry shoot. No,
Well, Friday night after the Maple Seed. Are you doing Maple Seed?
Maple Seed. No, Maple
He's
Seed.
making me sandwiches.
I'm not doing any of that. But the point is, there'll be enough to do the night before the charity shoot. I'm going to have zero interest in podcasting. So,
Yeah.
What time do you get in on Thursday?
We can talk about this afterwards. But
All right.
suffice to say, next week maybe earlier or later or something.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Until next week, everybody.